racing action.
Right.
That's what's important here. Okay.
Wait a minute. Let's rephrase that. In your face racing.
That's
what my slogan.
Ed has branded us with in-your-face racing action, and that's what it's going to be. I'm telling you, one of our listeners here, Ryan Nelson, one of our drivers down there at Southern Oregon, he's listening and says, Nelson Racing's got you playing in the shop as we work on the cars tonight. Excited to have you guys here for the season. Man, we are excited to be there. This Nelson gang, okay, how many cars, how many cars did those guys have on the track Saturday night? I was going through the lineup, and it was Nelson, Hedges, and Nelson. I'm going, how many guys are on the track? I mean, it was
Nelson and Hedges. That sounds like a brand name.
Lawyer firm.
Yeah,
law firm.
something like that. Hedges and Hedges. And
those guys they're hardcore. They're hardcore about racing, and they were in the Hornets, and we saw them in I believe a couple in the mini stocks. I believe it was Ryan who took the hard hit to turn 4 wall.
That was hard.
In the 19 car?
Yeah, the 19 car.
That was hard.
It was. He got out, and we heard he had some issues with the ankle.
Yeah.
Heard he was out, handling business, and he's evidently going to be there Saturday night. He's in the shop working on his car right now, listening to the show. So, to the whole Nelson gang, we want to say thanks for welcoming us out there and listening to the show and supporting it. We appreciate that, and glad you're doing well, Ryan. We hate to see those hard hits that when you start seeing medical staff get around. We've talked about that on the show multiple times, but the response from the safety team was fast.
It was fast.
They were there on the scene and made sure that they handled business for Ryan and things were taken care of. They needed to,
and they didn't rush anything. They was there in a heartbeat, but yet they was very,
very methodical.
There
yes,
you go.
It was good.
You took that right out of my mouth. I was fixing to say that word.
I don't believe him, Gary. It was awesome. You want to know what sucks? I'll tell you something that sucks, and this has got nothing to do with the racetrack. It sucks when you sit down to do the show, and Sandy brings out 3 plates of food with filet mignon and homemade cheese sauce and cauliflower, and we got to sit here and look at it while it gets cold.
Looking at it, I can smell it.
And we've got no commercials programmed into the show tonight. We're going live straight through.
And I don't want to hear these guys hear me smack, But
yeah, I'm just have to eat.
Well,
my dinner
what one of the most annoying noises is in the world is when you hear those knives scraping on the plates.
Oh yeah, or fork.
When you're not actually eating.
Right.
Just makes you
jelly.
jelly.
You hear other people scraping and you're not being able to use yours. Is that what it is?
It's like
I thought he was going to say an engine blowing up.
No.
Wow.
Oh, and we're talking about hitting the wall. How about the wall? How about that hit right in front of the grandstands?
Yeah, that was yes.
I did
Orsborn.
not. I didn't see it. Now I'm wearing now picture this. I'm on top of the tower. I'm standing right under the loudspeakers, which I don't know why, but Corey was really loud for some reason.
Have you seen the speaker system? The sound system at Southern Oregon
They're
is
huge.
Oh my gosh!
People call a 6-inch or a 4x9 or something like that. These things are like 4 feet by 8 feet.
Yes.
These horns and the speaker system on top of that tower. I looked them up. The actual size of those is Rhode Island. That's the size. They're so freaking big. I mean, it's nuts.
But I'm up there with my headset on, standing under the speakers, listening to Corey, and I'm swapping batteries in the drone again, and all of a sudden, through my headset, I hear this, and I thought, what the heck? And I'm looking around, and I look down in front of me, and there's a car up against the wall, and I'm going, holy moly.
Well, and he was moving. Orsborn was moving through traffic, and he was getting by cars, and I had just watched the leaders go by. Okay, I was talking about the leaders. They were made their way. They were just about the apex of 1 and 2 when he I don't know where the contact came from. I don't know if he just got on the wall by himself or what. I can't say, but all I saw was a quick couple flashes and some dirt flying, and then the car would come to a rest. I caught the last part when the car came to the rest, and my first thought was, oh, no. Yeah. I hope he's all right. And then to remind the fans to stand back from the fence in case there's a fire, all that good stuff we're supposed to do. That was a brutal wreck. Okay.
Yeah.
Gary, you spoke with Orsborn back there. It sounds like that car is totaled.
Yeah, it sounded like they're probably going to have to replace the chassis on that thing.
Yeah.
The halo on it was a little bit bent.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't really tell when they were looking at it. His pit crew was really checking the car over to try to see what kind of damage was there. But it sounds like he'll be back soon.
Oh,
But,
hey, that's the Cowboy.
you
He's
know,
a tough dude,
yeah,
man.
Yeah, the Cowboy will be back. You know.
Immediately. I mean, it wasn't a minute after that car had come to a rest. And I don't know the gentleman's name. I wish I did. I'd give him props on the show. There was a knock on the door of the tower. Sandy opens it up, and a guy comes in and says, "My name is so and so. I want to donate $20 to getting his car put back together." I said, "Are you with the team?" Or he's, "No, I'm just a fan." He goes, "But I hate to see those cars get wrecked like that." He says, "I want to be the first to donate $20." And here they come. Boom.
25 too.
25. I mean, we ended up donating a stack of money to Osborne, and what, there was no prompting. There was nothing. The fans just came out of the crowd, and I thought, how cool. I honestly, I have never seen that.
We've done fundraisers before and auctioned off stuff to help guys,
Right.
just wreck their cars to get back.
Yeah.
But never had I ever heard of anybody just out of the blue walk up and say, "Well, here, I'd like to give this to that racer."
That was a first for me as well.
And that was
Yeah.
amazing because I didn't even know until I walked across the track at the end of the show, and Corey mentions, "Hey, Osborne's still here?" I'm not sure why. And he hands me everything. I'm going, what is going on here? And he was extremely surprised to see that.
Yeah.
You know,
well,
it-
and when Gary handed I said, "Hey, can you run back there? We're loading up gear," and I was still talking to some people, and Gary runs back there and hands him it was an envelope or something full of
Yeah.
money. And I'm not even sure how much was there, but it was, I mean, doesn't matter. The act
if
of
it had been
generosity.
$1.
Yeah.
Right.
If it had been $1, it would be more than I would have expected.
The act of generosity from those fans, I thought, was just...
But the hesitation and the kind of surprise that I sensed
I got to
from
ask
him.
you. I got to ask you. And I know he's the Cowboy. That's what they dub him down there as the Cowboy, and you can tell he's a man's man. You can tell he's a tough dude, right? What was his reaction when you handed him that? Did he?
Well, boy, it just, you could tell there was like a sense of maybe being a little choked up
Yep.
about it.
Well, and this is why I ask you that. This is why, because early in the day, right before I was either right before or right after the pit meeting.
Yeah.
He was turning. Everybody was turning in their sheets that we gave drivers for our information for our database. And he came up and introduced himself, had a great conversation with them, and I thought, man, this guy here is just. There was something about him, okay, and I'd never met him before, but you can tell, as tough as he is, he's just one of those guys that seems to care about much too.
Yeah.
Just he was, hey, welcome to Southern Oregon, and we're so glad to have you guys. And you can just tell that he cared.
So genuine.
Beautiful race car. I mean,
Well, it makes us feel good. It makes us feel
it
appreciated.
did. So that's why I asked
You
you,
know?
hey, how did he react? Because you could tell that there's that tough guy in the car, but outside that, we know some guys like that. We don't say any names, but I was just kind of wondering if that's kind of, did he choke up? What did he do? I mean,
Just
I would.
Yeah, I mean, he was kind of taken, I think, by the whole situation.
Yeah.
He knows he's got some fans out there. He's been racing for a while.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah.
To have that happen, kind of almost reinsures you that people are there for you, and it was just neat to see everybody pull together.
Yep. Well, Corey,
on the track.
We seen a racer that someone broke into his trailer and stole all his race gear.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he stole his helmet, his fire suit, his shoes, and everything. And lo and behold, the race after that, Lord, there was a new helmet, a new racing suit.
Well,
new
and
racing
that's the thing
shoes.
is that particular driver. I'm not going to say his name because we don't need to say it. He knows who he is, and
Yep.
I know that I had talked with his other half, and she said, I don't know if that's a good idea. He might not like that. I said, listen, what that guy has done for racing and other racers and the help he's given, I don't see many people giving back to him on that level. We're going to. So I got a couple fellow racers together, and we did a little pass the helmet deal, and that was cool. That's kind of what this whole situation.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I thought of.
That's why I brought that up.
Yeah, Ed
You
and
know,
I
it's
kind of
just-
talked about that at the track, and it was just an act of generosity. I thought, wow, how
But that
awesome.
wasn't voluntary. That was just, like this was. I mean, this
Yeah.
was just somebody right out of the stands.
out of the stands.
Poof, right out of the air, And I was amazed. I'm going,
Yeah.
holy moly, That's great.
It was. Eric Schwab, our push truck driver down there, says he's listening, and then he says, welcome to Southern Oregon Speedway, and we love our racers.
Yes, we do.
It's
Well, they're
It
our
was awesome.
racers now.
well, that's right. We're their crew, and they're our friends and racers, and we're excited to be there. The racing. I want to get to the race because, man, it's been a long. It's been a long
4
off
days.
season. Well, just the off season alone, and everything that has transpired over the off season, and how we got to where we are. I believe everything happens for a reason. Okay, and I'm thankful for that at this point in time. I'll tell you that right now. You guys know everything happens for a reason. I couldn't be any more happier than I am right now, given what we're doing, where we're doing it, and how everything fell in line. There were multiple tracks that had contacted us, a couple different series that had contacted us, and we talked with them. We talked with them and had great conversations, and when we started talking with Southern Oregon Speedway, Mike McCann was it just felt like this is where we're supposed to be. And then I started, doing a little research, checking out, what's going on down there, and what he's building down at Southern Oregon Speedway is, it's the real deal. He's really changing it. And I say that because that track was in such, I've only used the word turmoil. It just wasn't good for so long with promoters and people not getting along and working together. Mike took control of the track. Put all that stuff behind. It's a part of the track's history. There's been a line drawn, and this is year number 4 for Mike, and it looks like things are really, really coming together. Fans are happy. The drivers are happy. Sponsors are coming on board, supporting the place. It just felt like this is right. This is where we're supposed to be.
Yep.
And honestly, it really didn't come down to money. It wasn't the deciding factor. It was just the relationship that was instantly developed with Mike McCann and Moxie Media Promotions. And Gary, you've known Mike for a long, long time from your racing days.
Yeah.
Ed, you did the show with Mike. You were impressed with him after our first show.
Very much so.
It's awesome. And to sit in the R. Charles Snyder Tower, legendary announcer down there. I'm honored, to be there. It's a cool deal. Everything went right. The racing, my goodness.
That was good racing.
I loved it. Even the Hornets. I was,
Oh man, they were out as if they were running late models.
Yeah,
well,
they were.
And who are we talking about in the Hornet division? We're talking about that Nelson gang. We're talking about the Hedges and the mini stocks. I mean, those guys. There is a family feud there with some of those guys. That I don't want to say feud. I want to say rivalry. Father, son, whatever the relationship is with the rest of them. These guys are there to win.
How many times have you watched a Hornet race and actually watch a driver set up into turn 1 and power that puppy sideways all the way through 2 into the backstretch?
I don't remember seeing Hornets. I mean, I can tell you one or two in the years that I've been watching Hornets that where a driver actually would put the car in and get the back end hung out. Yep. I can tell you 2 drivers, and all the times I've been watching Hornets do that. That's the norm at Southern Oregon. That's how these guys get down.
That's how they roll.
You're not kidding. I mean, and they're just door to door, and I mean, they're doing it.
I'm sitting in the catbird seat.
You've got the best view.
And
in the
hopefully, I'm going to let the fans and the racers, after the race are over, I'm going to show you exactly what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
And I am impressed. I mean, I'm sitting up there going, whoa.
He's got the great view. Okay.
I don't.
But you're over there in the car.
Yes, I am.
But you got to remember, we're in Southern Oregon this year. Okay. Yep. It's hot out there.
It's hot. I got my sunscreen for Saturday.
You better have it because I got AC in the tower.
Yeah, I got tan.
Yeah,
I did too. I don't want to hear that he's got AC. Where?
Right.
I know where there's a door stop and some baling wire that we can open that door up.
He'd do it too.
And the scorers, see, they're over on the left side and they've got a sliding partition.
Yeah.
And they can stay cool. We're not going to be the only ones sweating. He keeps talking like that.
Here's a comment on our chat line from Dylan Irving. I believe I want to say he runs a mini. mini stock. He runs a number 11 mini stock. He says after Mike got the track, it became a place